Good afternoon and welcome to Williams Island TV. Today is very important because I have, aside from Karrie Griffiths from the spa with us, we have had so many questions regarding security, traffic violations, scheduling of restaurants, when the spa is opening. I've asked Jeff to come on with us, Jeff Klein, and he will be with us very shortly because there are so many questions and security has become such a critical component of the island that with the implementation of the speed cameras, the Aventura Police with us now working in conjunction with the island, I thought everyone should have a full understanding of the process, what it's for, and the intent of it. And the other thing is going to be what's going on with our restaurant. We are now prepared to stop the use of the grill on August 9th, and we open over here a few days later. And then shortly thereafter, sometime in December, January, February, start the construction on the new spa. So it's just a matter of time till all these new things begin, and you will hear directly in a few minutes exactly what will be happening. We look forward to it, and we'll be right back. Welcome to Williams Island TV, and we're back now with Miss Karrie, who just came back from Alaska,
Alaska.
who had an amazing trip,
Yes.
refreshed, ready to go, nice cool weather.
Oh,
Coming
beautiful
back to this
weather.
nice, refreshing cold weather we're having here.
Quite a shock.
But we want to talk about the summer camp program because I know that's been amazing and you do that every year. How is it going?
It's incredible. The summer camp program is amazing, especially because we have the new amenities of the sports court with the futsal and the basketball court. So we've integrated everything and every age. We started our first toddler camp this year for 4 and 5 year olds. And then we have the tennis camp. And then we have this sports camp that integrates everything together. So there's swimming, there's basketball, we have fishing this year, we have soccer, now and then arts and crafts, and then tennis and pickle and paddle. So everything. The kids are having a great time.
How many kids are in the program right now this year?
Right now we have about 25, 26 kids, and then we have a group of like 4 to 5 toddlers. The toddler group.
So the kids that are in there, they have a set program you put together every day. So they don't pick and choose what they do. You put the program together for them.
Right, right. So there is a tennis program. So if a parent wants their child to do tennis throughout the day, they can choose that. Or they could choose to do the multi-sports camp where they do tennis and basketball and soccer and fishing, and then they come back to tennis and they all do swimming, which is great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Summer camp ends August 7th, but we also have other programming for kids that continue. So we have Sunday basketball hoops with Coach Morales. That's been incredible. We have upwards of 10 to 15 kids on Sundays coming to that. We have our soccer program on Wednesdays and Sundays. And that's very popular as well. And we continue to have private swimming lessons for the kids too.
So who puts the program together? Is that you, or do you have some youth director that helps you with it?
No,
Because it's
I
quite
put it
diversified.
together. Yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, we've all pitched in, but I coordinate the program. We have kids yoga twice a week, also inside of the spa. We have a mommy and me class, and we have a fitness class on Saturdays for kids.
Okay, so here's a Karrie question for you. We have within the spa program, we have obviously adult classes, we have younger classes, we have workout, we have exercise, we have Zumba classes, we have cycling, Pilates, youth. That's quite a job to coordinate all that.
Yes.
How do you, at the beginning of a year, let's say, okay, what are we going to do? And when do you modify it based on usage? And how does that all come together? Because people say, who coordinates? There must be 100 different programs going at once.
It's mainly Jackie Eschett who's doing the adult programming. So there's about 70 classes a week that she's
And
coordinating,
she's
and
Broadway Jackie.
Broadway Jackie, yes. But she's constantly changing and tweaking and um, reducing classes if they're not being attended and pumping up the ones that are being maybe overly attended, meaning a wait list. We have Jackie Tobel that is in charge of the Pilates programming. So between the 3 of us, we put all of that together.
Because it's quite a job. I mean, you have tremendous amount of classes.
We do. We do, which makes us a very special program.
How does somebody new moving on the island find out about all this? Do you give them a free evaluation? Do you meet with them? Do they have the ability to do that?
Yes, yes. We give them an orientation. We reach out to them. Joy gives us new members, new residents, new tenants that have come onto the island. We give an orientation. We do a fitness assessment. We make sure they understand the way the schedules work and everything that we offer.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely.
So, on a personal level, you just came back on a vacation, and obviously, you live the life you teach.
I do. Yes.
So, when you travel,
Yes.
how do you maintain that? Where's your balance of obviously don't stop working out, you don't stop exercising,
No.
but at the same token, you still want to enjoy yourself.
Yes.
How do you go on a vacation and not continue doing what you do every day?
Well, so I love working out. I always make sure I have access to a gym. Tennis shoes are first in my bag.
I understand that's all you really pack.
And no, that's not true. That's not, no, I have dress
You
clothes.
do.
I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I have a heel or two. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's the way I approach time off is a time to do excursions, right? So on vacations, you have opportunity to do things you don't normally get to do, like fish. I've never fished before. I got to fish. Um, and uh, as far as food and things like that are concerned, I enjoy myself. Yeah.
Because and the reason I ask is, and this is not a criticism of anybody. There's so much emphasis today on Botox and shots and fillers and all of these things, which I believe in, and I think they're wonderful for people to do them. But yet they don't spend as much time exercising their body. They're more worried about how the face looks. And how do you come up with a blend that they're doing both at the same time?
Well, I think that's conversations that we have with our
You do.
members and stressing mobility and function and independence, especially with our female members. And being independent and remaining independent means you need to have strength, you need to have flexibility, you need to have function, you need to know how to move your body. And sometimes that will be the motivator for that conversation. Because although looking good is wonderful, you have to take care of your inside and your joints and everything as well.
And I'm not criticizing the other stuff.
Right,
Quite to the contrary. It's almost like one without the other doesn't seem to make sense
right.
because the physical is probably as critical, if not more so, for longevity.
I 100%. It's definitely more critical.
So,
Yeah.
how do you promote? I mean, obviously, we have a way to promote if people will come to you.
Right,
But do you find many people do come to you for programs to help you? Because I look at people, some people are 60 years old and look like they're 90, and some people are 90 and look 60.
right, right,
And it's so weird to watch this.
right. Well, people will come, but everyone has to find their inner motivations. Everyone has to find that light switch to go off to say, "Okay, now I get it." And it could be after a fall. It
Yeah.
could be after something happens to them where they're like, "Oh, I really got to get myself together." I mean, being on the trip I was just on, which was my first cruise,
How'd you like it, by the way?
it it was wonderful. It was great, but there is nothing more motivating than seeing people not being able to move, go up steps, canes, wheelchairs that are definitely younger than I am, right? Or you see how people age in a difficult way
Well,
because they don't take care of
and the
themselves.
reason I ask it, I had a torn meniscus, so I had to go for therapy here in the island. which is they're great, by the way. But I would watch people go in there for certain injuries or whatever the case, but as soon as the therapy was over, they stopped going to the gym.
Right.
And I say to myself, shouldn't they continue this exercise program? Shouldn't they continue? It's almost like if you don't continue, you become the spider in a corner,
Right.
shriveled up type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it's so hard to get people motivated.
It is. It is. And you try telling somebody what to do.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. You can't. They have to want to do it. You can encourage, you can motivate, you can make suggestions and but if they don't embrace it even a little bit, it's
Oh,
not gonna
no, I know
happen.
for myself, I take Pilates a couple of times a week, 3 times a week, whatever. If I didn't have that appointment, I probably would never show up.
Right, right.
But I know I have, and I've been doing it religiously for God knows how long. But there were days I say, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym and do my own thing, but I never get there. Yet if I had an appointment,
Sure.
so I guess there's that balance you have to figure out. How do you get people to realize that that is as critical as all the other stuff?
It is, and there are people that count on their classes. They come because they're gonna see like a social setting, they're gonna see their friends and other members on the island, so they come to their classes religiously. Others hire trainers to make sure that they show up, and it gets them in the mix and gets them more comfortable with the gym. Um, the one thing I want to encourage, if someone feels uncomfortable in a gym, which many people do, the way to get past that is to come see us and allow us to help you feel more comfortable in the gym by having an appointment, by helping you out, by encouraging you and doing little steps so you're there more often than you are not.
Well, we're getting a younger generation on the island now. Do you find it's affecting what you're doing in the gym? And does it affect the kind of classes you have to have?
It definitely affects the classes. This particular demographic of the younger members coming in has affected the way that we approach our gym more so because they're in the gym, they're lifting heavy, they're doing more Olympic lifts. So it has affected our spacing inside of the gym. We've made some changes inside of the gym. We've gotten in some equipment for them to use. Um, so they're not necessarily so class oriented, the younger demographic. They're more definitely attached to their phones and apps in their phones, but they're doing some pretty heavy lifting.
So that segues into what everyone is asking. We have a new gym coming.
We do have a new gym coming, yes, and
And the schedule that it looks like now, we're closing our restaurant, and we'll talk about this with Jeff later, the 7th of August. And then that should be finished, let's say, the end of the year. So then we go right into
yes,
this
yeah,
gym. And hopefully we're going to start you in January.
right.
And for those that you are worried, we will always have a gym for everybody. We're going to put together, whether it's a tent or location, but there will be a facility for the activities.
Yes,
But once we're built, I understand the design is encompassing more of the youth needs and younger crowd, and it's reorientation of the whole space.
correct. Yeah.
So tell us a little about more of what you're doing, because people say, what different can you do in the same box? And I hear there's a lot of changes.
There is a lot of changes where it's kind of like a shell game. We're moving things around so it's more appropriate so we don't have, for example, a dance class and a group cycle class right over our massage rooms, which causes issues. But also by taking out the hallways, we gain space and we're really doing a more of that lifting area and less of the selectorized of the machinery inside of the gym. So more squat racks and bench presses and kind of old school style. Really, it's all come back. And so we're making room for that.
So it must be exciting for you to be doing this whole new project, isn't it?
I love it. Yeah.
I was going to say, because you can't sit still.
Yeah.
But you like change.
I do. I do like change. I do like change.
As long as it's not the menu change, it's okay.
But it's good change
It
downstairs
is.
too.
It
It'll
is.
be more spa-like. There'll be more quiet areas, which is just as important, especially with this newer demographic. They have learned how to balance a little bit better.
Mhm.
And so they're looking for quiet, they're looking for recovery, but they're looking for that kind of hardcore gym atmosphere as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the last note, aren't you probably have you been here the longest of any employee?
No, I think Joy still beats
Joyce
me.
more?
Yeah.
Because you've been here since you were 12.
Since I was 12. Yes, yes, exactly.
Now you've been here how many years now?
33,
Wow.
something like
Isn't that
that.
amazing?
Yeah, crazy.
And Joy's a little bit more, you're right.
Yeah, Joy's a little bit more. Yeah, but it's a great place,
Okay, so we're
obviously.
gonna give you a contract for another 30 years, and then you're done. Is that
Okay,
fair
all
enough?
right, fair enough, fair
Okay.
enough, I'm in.
Anyway, thank you so much for everything you do, Karrie. You're amazing. And by the way, look at his personality. Is she always upbeat, always positive? It isn't that what it's all about
It is,
in
it
life. If
is.
you don't have that attitude,
Right,
nothing else works.
that's right.
Anyway, we will be right back, and thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, welcome back. And I have with us Jeff Klein, our COO. But more importantly, there's so many things going on the island, and major things, important things, safety things. And it's time that we really started to talk a little bit about more of the specifics of what's going on. Because one of the biggest issues that we have implemented on the island, as we promised over the months that we were going to do, is safety. And we now have a relationship with the Aventura Police in place. And just briefly about that, that is not just to give out tickets. That's a presence on the island. They will be in golf carts. They'll be roaming around the area. They will have a presence, but they are equipped to work with the city police to make sure we're safe. The other issue is we have on our traffic cameras in place, and Jeff will give you a little update. They started the first week of July, and when you hear the numbers, you'll be astounded by not so much how many violations have been written or talked about, but the excuses people give. And that's more concerning than anything else. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the new restaurant because that's critical. We're shutting down the existing one the 7th
The
of
ninth.
August or the 9th. So let's talk about the restaurant, the easy thing.
Yeah, sure. So the good news is we're in the final permit stages. Connor has been working diligently with the city, the designer, the architect, and we should have that permit in hand any day. But we've made the decision to shut the restaurant down, as we talked about, August 9th, which I believe is a Sunday. We'll spend the next few days transitioning all the necessary equipment into the ballroom so we can operate the tentative location of the grill in the ballroom. And then we'll decommission the current grill, turn things off, unhook equipment, and get ready for the contractor to come in, start demo, and prepping the site for their work. We've selected chairs, we've selected bar stools, counter stools, fabrics are selected, materials are selected, and the designers working hard with the contractor, which is us construction, to procure and secure all of those items for a seamless transition. Um, Project should take anywhere from 20 plus or minus weeks. So that puts us right at the end of the year, all things considered going well. Unfortunately, as we know, we hit certain hiccups and things like that. But we're really confident that this contractor can execute and deliver a world-class restaurant.
And then while that's being done, obviously we're moving over to the King Ballroom.
That's right.
People have asked what's going to be in there. Is it the same menu, a modified menu? And then also we heard that you're going to modify or expand the menu at the courtside.
That's right. So Gabe and Thaddeus have been working for the last probably 5 or 6 weeks on the programming. And the grill, let's start with the ballroom. So the grill will operate like the grill. It'll have actually the same furniture that's in the grill now. So it won't be a ballroom feel, it'll be a restaurant feel. It'll be a very similar menu, toned down a little bit, because keep in mind, we'll be operating the grill, Olia, the last coconut, all out of one kitchen. And then throughout that period of time, we have some commitments we've made for bar mitzvahs, parties, other. So we'll have to turn on, turn off. Um, so what we've decided to do was increase the menu offering at Courtside. And we will run all of the deliveries for the island out of Courtside with an expanded menu. So it's really Courtside to go, because the venue's not designed to have table service, but
Right.
nothing wrong with you going in, grabbing a to-go order, sitting outside and eating it, taking it home with you, or having it delivered. So there'll be an expanded menu there. We'll operate a modified menu in the ballroom. There'll be few nights a week where we do theme buffets, so we're not competing with Olia's a la carte menu. And we're going to do the very best we can for the period of time while under renovation
And
to
what do you
keep
figure
all
that?
those offerings going.
So what do you be 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, I think 5 months is a realistic timeline, Bob. Again, what we don't know is always what
Yeah.
concerns me. Um, but the project itself seems pretty seamless.
It's exciting because it's going to be gorgeous when it's finished. People have no idea what they're in for.
Yeah, it's gonna be comfortable, modern, and fresh. And I think after looking at Olia, looking at the ballroom, looking at the Island Club, what we've done in the last few years here with all of the modern improvements of the amenities has been spectacular.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you have a new chef, I understand, now
We
in
do.
the Leah too.
Yeah, we do. So Gabe and Thaddeus brought in Victor. Victor has a tremendous amount of experience, local restaurants. The most recent was Makoto. And as you know, when we reopen the grill, there'll be a sushi component. So having the grill and sushi experience will be really great for us. And Victor so far is adapting well. And he's been in Olia pretty much every night he's been here, getting to meet the residents, touching tables, learning all of their likes and interests, which is great.
It's funny. I remember many, was it 5.5 years since you started here? 5 years?
I'll be here
4.
5 years in March.
Amazing. And I remember we talked about our goal was there was a lot of changes we wanted to do on the island, upgrades and make things more possible, and new spa, new restaurants, new this, new that, new building, new island. And it's almost amazing that every single item has come to fruition.
And then some.
And then some. If you think about it, we had the basketball
You
court.
actually left off about 80% of
I
the
know.
things you wanted me to do, but I don't think you wanted to scare me away from the
I
opportunity.
didn't want to.
But I'll be honest, I mean, we've been busy since I've been here.
Amazing, isn't it?
What's awesome is we have a very supportive board
Yes.
that believes in asset improvement. And at the end of the day, if we keep improving the asset and making the memories and the experiences better for the residents, it also increases real estate value.
Oh,
So living on the island is great. You get to utilize the amenity. But if you ever wanted to sell it, the value of your amenity has gone up, which has increased the value of your real estate. So everyone's winning.
and what's interesting about it is, and what I don't know people appreciate, this board has, with our leadership and through the leadership of the board and our staff, we have put together almost $35 million of improvements over an 8-year period to be without one penny assessment. And that's what's more amazing. And yet those same amenities have probably added hundreds of millions of dollars in home values to people's homes.
Yeah. And when you think about it, it's a really simple process, right? If the board takes care of me, and I take care of my team, and my team takes care of their team, and those teams take care of the residents, the money takes care of itself. So obviously the dues come in, but if we're not focused on managing the business properly, the dues go out much faster. So Thomas and the finance team and the finance committee and the board have worked diligently over the last 8 years to keep a very robust reserve, which has afforded the canvas and the playground for us to go develop and create. So when you talk about a true team effort, you're talking about boards and committees, finance team, Thomas and his team, Thaddeus and the operators, Arlene, like all of the directors. You just met with Karrie and talked about summer camp and her collaboration with Carlos, and the using the amenities we developed and built has added value to the summer camp. We've never had basketball. We've never had soccer. We brought Connor on, who's our project manager who's an avid fisherman. So we added fishing, and Connor has been teaching little kids how to tie a line and go fishing. So we're utilizing the team to take care of the resident experience, and it all just starts to fall in place. So it's really amazing.
It is. It's, you think about the magnitude of what goes on here in a
Yeah.
given week of an island.
Yeah.
And, with 300 employees and a $60 million budget, and every day, we probably have 400 events a year here.
Yeah.
And it's nonstop.
No,
Never miss a beat.
it's nonstop. The team does a lot of work, and a lot of it's done behind the scenes, right? And nobody really knows the ups and downs that happen behind the curtain. You always say it, right? Nobody knows what happens behind the curtain of a show.
That's right.
Curtain opens, the show goes
That's
on,
right. It's
the
opening
curtain
night.
closes, and the cast is ready to kill themselves.
That's right. That's right.
Kill each other, right? And it's just natural. It's the way it happens in the business too.
All right. So let's talk about probably the most important issue for the moment that presents the biggest challenges, and that's security on the island. And as you all remember, we have for the last few months talked about whether or not bringing in private security, armed guards, working with a relationship of the city of Aventura, which is ultimately what we have done. And they have started as of July 4th weekend. But we've also implemented, and we're continuing to implement, cameras for speeding purposes and also for safety precautions, recognition of license plates, et cetera, et cetera. And yet, even with all of this, I would say, now we started this, July 4th weekend, roughly?
I'll give you the big picture, and then we can sort of zero in on it. The board approved perimeter cameras, speeding cameras, facial recognition cameras at the amenities, the implementation of partnering with the Aventura Police. And like you said, the police are not here just to write tickets. The police are here for community engagement, presence, awareness. But if you ever remember, we had a camera here on the property, which identified a lot of what was happening, and that's what helped us really create strategy. So police have been on property since July 4th. They're here very random times, random days. There's no pattern. Nobody will ever figure out the pattern. And most of the time, I don't even know the pattern because I don't remember the schedule in which we scheduled it, because we schedule 30 days out. So they just show up. So that's going smooth. And I will tell you, the stop sign violations are going down, which means resident behavior is changing for the positive. Is it perfect? No, but it's moving in the right direction. We then installed a speeding camera on the main boulevard after the main gate. And to put it in perspective, when you come through the main gate, right as you're pulling out of the main gate, there's a speed sign that says 20 miles an hour. The board authorized the rule that any vehicle traveling 26 miles or faster would get a warning, and then follow the warning process, the fine process, etc. About 150 yards after that first traffic alert sign, we installed a blinking sign that alerts you of your speed, and it alerts you 40 yards prior to the sign. So you pull out of the main gate, you see the traffic sign, you then have 150 yards before the blinking sign, and you're alerted 40 yards out. You have plenty of time to recognize your speed. After the blinking sign, we have a speed camera, which is about 50 yards. So you have the length of 2 football fields to make a conscious decision to not speed. If you choose to speed 26 or greater, you will get a warning or a fine depending on where you are in the process. To put it in perspective, at the board's request, we started in July after it was approved. We spent the first 2 weeks testing and learning the system and learning the AI capacities and making sure the email addresses matched the unit owners and the cars weren't changed. So Noel worked with the building managers to make sure all that happened. And we really started sending out warnings last week. I want to say we sent out about 50 warnings last week starting Thursday. So Thursday and Friday, about 50 warnings. Today, which is Monday, we'll send out all the warnings from Saturday, Sunday. Because what we do is we go through and we vet to make sure that the data in the system is right compared to the resident, compared to the car. People change cars, people don't have the car, their address changes, their email changes. So as building managers are getting this information now, they're keeping us up to date. So it's been great. But I heard you say something earlier about excuses.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we've sent out a few warnings and we've gotten back a few responses.
Yeah, I want to hear what
Some
people
of them
would say.
haven't been very pleasant, to be honest. We've been called draconian. We've been called unethical. We've been called money grabbers. We've been called a lot of things. And as everyone here should know, we're not doing this to make money. We're doing this to make Williams Island a very safe community. As a matter of fact, when I was talking with the sergeant from the Aventura Police about our whole program, the first thing he said was, Aventura as a city has very high speeding and crosswalk violations. That and electric bikes. Those three things have been a priority in the city to create safety. No different than Williams Island. And when you pull onto Williams Island, in fairness to the resident, you're home. You feel safe. You feel like it's a utopia. So
Right.
the speeding I get is subconscious at times, but we really want the residents to make effort to go 25 or slower. But we've heard hard to see the speedometer and gauge my speed at the same time. Well, this is not the only place that residents drive, and traffic laws do exist outside of Williams Island. So I hope that the residents would follow the same traffic theory as they would if they were outside the island.
And by the way, what's interesting about what we're doing, if you were doing the same thing in Aventura, you'd get a ticket.
You get ticket 21 miles an hour.
Right. Here, we're giving a warning. And just, so far we have not sent out the first fine.
Not.
If there is fines, which I'm sure there's unfortunately going to be, you do have a right to dispute your fine by going to grievance if you wanted to, but the funding that comes in for it is minimal, and it's all being used for security purposes. We're not using it as a slush fund to spend money on frivolous items. It's for the security of the island. It's for the purpose of keeping people safe. With all the young kids, we have 500 children on this island now, and yet people still refuse to slow down. And by the way, we have that camera there. But what Jeff isn't finishing is in the next month or so, you're going to have 3 or 4 more cameras around the whole island, not only for traffic, but for safety reasons as well. And shame on the people if they want to keep speeding. We give them a warning. We have signs telling you you're speeding, and yet they still don't understand that we are probably so much more lenient because when the Aventura police are on the property and you go through a stop sign, there's no warning. You get a ticket.
That's right.
Here you get a warning.
The other thing is when we send out your warning, for those that have got it, you know exactly what it looks like. We actually have 2 pictures on there. One is a close-up of your license plate. One is a picture of your car. You asked about funny things that people say. One resident actually said to us, well, I think it was the car next to me that was speeding. If you look clearly at the picture that was in his warning, there are no other cars on the road, just his. So it's interesting. If we just spent more time focusing on that speeding and less time on the excuses, we would have a safer community. So you will get a warning. It will have a picture, license plate, time, very, very clear. And as you talked about, we'll start fining and that'll have a whole process in itself. So that's the speed cameras. More to come on speed cameras because there'll be about 4 more put on the island in locations where we feel are the highest speed threats. We've then started installing our facial recognition cameras
It's
at the
that's important.
amenities.
Yeah.
And this is not only one that I think is great for safety and security, but it's also great to protect the amenity. So only Williams Island residents are using the amenity. We have oftentimes where Privé, Island Estates, Peninsula, somehow they walk in, they walk around the island. You find them in the playground, you find them on the sports court. Look, we want to be good neighbors, but we didn't build our amenities for our neighbors. We built them for our residents.
Right.
So over the next week or so, Arlene and Brian and Noel will be sending out emails on what those cameras processes will be, because you're going to have to upload a picture or use your member ID QR code from your phone in order to access the sports court, the playground, the
Now,
dog park, the pool.
will they be able to put this together in their buildings as well with the building managers, or do they have to come to the office?
So this is all done through your app and by yourself.
So you don't have to go anywhere.
You don't have to go anywhere. But like anything, if you have technical issues, Arlene is always available and can handle that with the residents. It's super simple. If you don't want to put your face and use it as a facial recognition, you'll just use your member ID, which is on your phone in your portal.
That's
You'll
great.
just scan that and the gate will open. Obviously, it doesn't stop piggybacking or opening the door for somebody, but it does prevent someone who doesn't show their member ID or their face the ability to get into the system. The facial is awesome. I mean, you just saw when we walked out here,
Yes.
it worked at the pool because we're pre-programmed. And it just recognizes you and the door clicks and it opens and you walk in and it's a pretty seamless experience. We will also be putting a facial recognition camera in the new spa building when we do that renovation, which will help you just proceed rather than having to stop at the counter. You could just walk in, the door clicks, you open, you go in, and it registers you so we know you're in the building, which is also safe because we'll know who's in the building.
So somebody asked me a question about something similar to this. What is the guest policy for somebody if somebody's staying with me? Can they use the spa? What is the procedure? Because they've
So we
asked
have
that.
two terms on the island. One is guest, one is visitor. A visitor is someone that's staying with you in your residence. Could be a family member, could be a friend. They're here for a period of time. They're physically staying with you in the residence. You would register them with Joy as a visitor. That person has the rights to use the amenities without the resident present,
Okay.
as long as they have a visitor's pass,
Okay.
which you get from Joy.
Now, if my daughter flies down from New York and is going to stay with me for the day.
Yeah. You would want to register her
Okay.
as a visitor, and she'd have access to use the facility.
Be with her.
If she's a visitor, no. If she's visiting as a guest for the day to play tennis or to go to the restaurant, the resident must be present with the guest.
That's it.
And we know it's confusing, but we know this is your home. This is not a place where we want to make it hard for you to have family and friends come and stay with you. We actually want them to enjoy the amenities just like you would. It's the day guests that we don't want to just use our amenities and go to our restaurants and go to the pool without the resident present, because otherwise it defeats the purpose of having a membership in a private community.
Interesting. One last thing. We have had Hotwire here close to a year now, or give or take, 10 months,
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
a little longer. How are we doing with that? Seems like the complaints have gotten way less.
Oh, yeah. So, no secret. When we started, like anything new, it was painful.
Oh, we had 5,000
We had
systems.
complaints, we had systems, but when you think about the number of devices that Hotwire installed on this island, it's thousands. And anytime you have thousands of, I mean, it's not even thousands. It's, think about it, 2,000 units, 3 devices, that's 6,000. There's probably over 15,000 Hotwire devices on the island, plus brand new fiber. As of today, we have seen a dramatic improvement in the stability of the system. But what's the most remarkable is their response time. So if you call and have an issue, if you call or report your issue to Hotwire, it's fast. If you share your issue with the building manager and the building manager sends it to Hotwire, it's very hard to fix an issue because it's not a real-time reported issue. Hotwire loves real-time reporting.
So the idea is if you have a problem, get a hold of Hotwire
Because
directly.
they log into the system and they can see what you see in real time.
Okay.
Of the complaints in June and July, island-wide, 70% of them require 0 service. Simple as reboot or plug your Eero in because it's not plugged in, or reprogram a remote. So 70% of the issues reported on the island in June and July required no service.
It's amazing.
So it's getting much better. Is it where we want to be? No, because it's not perfect. But perfection is illusory, right? It's
Well,
never
when you're
gonna be,
having
it's never going to
15,
be
if
perfect.
you have 15,000 units of items and you're getting 100 a month, it's not a whole lot
It's
of,
never going to
it's
be
nothing.
It's
You
never
know,
going
you're
to be
not, it's
perfect.
mechanical.
And it's also like me, like when I'm at home, it's user error most of the time. And that's why I let my wife deal with all the technical issues in the house, because I don't have the patience to program remote. I don't have the patience to figure out why the voice and the audio and the visual are off by a split second. And quite frankly, it doesn't bother me, but it bothers her. So I let her manage it. So anytime you have all of these things happening with streaming and downloading and uploading and this device and that device, we're in a world of technology, and technology is moving very fast.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So keeping up with it is very challenging for most, not for me, because I don't pay attention to it. But Hotwire has done a tremendous job. I mean, we've had the privilege of having their chief technology officer on site in the last 60 days, the president of the company on site several times in the last 60 days, because they truly care about the island
But you know
and
what's
this
amazing about
customer.
them? That they have actually given us the data that they receive, which is usually confidential.
Ooh, they've given us data
Yeah.
that
We see day by day exactly the complaint of every single unit on the island.
every Friday I get a report. I know exactly the issues on the island, whose issues, what building, what the complaint is, down to the remote needed a battery, or we needed to plug in an Eero, or reset a computer, or Mr. So and so, your TV from 1996 is not compatible with our system. Every detail on that system is being shared with us on a weekly basis. So we get to see the positive trends in the improvement in the system.
And also, speaking of trends, we've had very few complaints about much of anything anymore on the island.
Yeah,
It's really come
we
back
still
down.
hear, I think the nomenclature has changed. I think what we're getting now is authentic feedback more than complaints. We're getting ideas, we're getting people recommending things. Yeah, are there complaints? Sure, people are still having challenges. It's again, we have
But
restaurants,
the
we have
majority of it is member to member,
yeah,
not member to employee
yeah,
anymore.
no,
That's
that's
interesting.
yeah, the staff issues have gone down. We a few
Because
fights
from a
here and
grievance,
there.
I mean, we have not had a grievance committee meeting in a year.
Yeah, I think when people are happy, right, things seem to fall in place,
Oh, when
and
you live in paradise, how bad can it be?
yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. But I think all things are moving in the right direction. We have a lot to do. I like to always say, we are not where we need to be, but we are nowhere where we used to be.
No.
And the continued improvements, not only in the asset, but in the staff training and all of that is has been really getting better day by day. You have a very engaged, talented group of directors, and because you get to pop by some of the meetings and you speak to them on a regular basis. Um, so it's been great. I mean, we have directors running our
Well,
staff meetings, by the way, now,
we
which
are
is great.
very fortunate that, obviously under your leadership, we have an amazing relationship between you and your team and our board, me and the board, so to speak. And together, we've been able to accomplish. Nobody has personal agendas. Nobody has issues that can't be discussed. We all walk out of a meeting. We have the same belief involved. We all have the same desire to improve what we're doing
Yeah.
here. But the relationships are unique because I can tell you, you don't see this in other locations.
Yeah, and we don't agree. And by the way, I mean, the last vote was a perfect example, right? The board was unanimous that they wanted to have a finding system for the island on speeding, but they were 7-6 on what that rule language was. So there's not
And by the
this,
way, it took 3 votes.
and it took 3 votes. There's not this everybody's
Oh,
always
no,
voting
no,
yes.
not at all.
So that's what's even more impressive is you have a group of people who have a lot of respect for each other, don't always agree, but ultimately support the final decision and go with it to make sure it's in the best interest of the island.
No question.
So that's all. That's kudos to a great board,
Yeah.
and I have a great team that is
do.
making improvements every day. And my job is to just move roadblocks out of the way so they can keep doing their jobs. So all is working in great direction.
Well, I can't thank you enough. It's always a pleasure. Jeff and I are partners in crime.
Thanks.
We've been working together now 5 years.
Can you believe it?
It's unbelievable. 5 years and only stronger. And that's really what this island is about, from strength to strength. We just want to keep improving, never stay stagnant. Uh, like I said, I can't thank the board enough for all of their hard work, their contributions, and also to the boards of all the buildings, because, we have 13 boards on this island, and each one is independent of each other. And yet somehow the Master Association and all of them are cohesive. And that's even more amazing that you have probably amongst all the boards, we probably have 60 people that have to work together for the good of the island. And for that, I really thank everyone. Jeff, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time, and we'll be right back. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've been informed because I think it's great. I don't think there should be any questions, but if there are, please contact Jeff at his office, contact Arlene for any questions or clarification on what's going on. And I want to thank Karrie Griffin for being here and putting on the most amazing programs we have on the island. As always, what she does is second to none. Also, very important, we are planning and we're in discussions now to have a health month sometime in the fall when the season starts. And what we want to do is new residents, people on the island want to get into health and fitness programs. We're going to be starting something for the month to get people involved, keep healthy, keep fit, and utilize our facilities that will be coming online. So please watch out for it. But again, thank you to Karrie, thank you to Jeff, and thank you for the board of directors for all their hard work and cooperation. And more importantly, thank you for the 5,000 residents on the island. This is all for you. Please be safe, enjoy the summer, stay healthy, and we will see you very shortly.